On April 2nd, 2021, the Twitter account VS_experiences tweeted out a link to the Google Doc statement that laid out a series of accusations of sexual impropriety and abusive behaviors of streamer and YouTuber Vinny of Team Vinesauce. The document was made up of accusations from 4 accusers about their experiences with Vinny and what they felt that he did to them. Among the accusations were implied threats of reprisal if their relationship went public, infecting a girl with an STI, him fostering a feeling of general social isolation from their friends and community, and a tendency for him to badmouth friends and associates behind their back. The document quickly gained traction after several prominent internet personalities, such as YouTubers Shammy, Mandalore Gaming, Redbard, and a former mod of Viddy's, Cherion, joined the effort to signal boost the post. As the featured content section of a certain flightless bird discussion forum puts it, a lot of the story can be summed up as, Vinesauce has allegations of inappropriate behavior levied against him. It's not very effective. Almost immediately, people began to notice discrepancies in the way that Vinny generally talks in emails versus some of the emails that were allegedly sent by him. A lot of ire was also directed to some of the people that provided the initial signal boost with very little commentary. Throughout that late Friday night, most of the posts about Vinny were mostly positive, with people coming out to support him. Also during this night, the first assertions of malfeasance began to arise. People began noting that one of the initial retweeters, GeePM, had left Vinesauce under less than amicable circumstances. Other mods of Vinny's were also throwing doubt into the reasons behind Cherion's motivations for spreading the post and condemning Vinny. Audio used in Person 1's account was also clearly edited, as stated in the document. However, people have come forward and put the contention that the audio itself wasn't just edited for brevity or to maintain privacy, but heavily spliced to make Vinny say things that he didn't actually say. This has led for critics to call for the full and unedited audio to be uploaded, with the only edits being made that which maintain the privacy of the person involved. Most damningly, some of the people mentioned in the document have come forward contesting the validity of some of the claims that were made in the document, as well as explicitly asking to be removed when they are mentioned in the document. I also do want to note that there are rumors and allegations that the document was edited at some point, but I've been unable to substantiate that claim. The only edits seem to be that of resizing screenshots to make it more readable for people who are on mobile. If anyone does have evidence of this, please get in contact with me and I'll add it in the description of the video. After a day of radio silence, Vinny went live on his Twitch channel for a quick broadcast to get out his statement. In the broadcast, he pleads with fans to not harass anyone involved in the spreading of the document and that he is seeking legal help in defending his public image. Looking at his chat, he seemed to have a lot of goodwill from his audience in all of this. Gaming YouTuber and King of Limbo himself, Mandalore Gaming, a person who I genuinely enjoy and love content from, and the initial reason I had gotten interested in covering the situation in the first place, has since deleted the retweet and issued a full and complete public apology, saying flat out that he should not have gotten involved in the situation, and that he will not be getting himself involved in any situation like this that he does not have first-hand experience of. Anime YouTuber Redbard took a more confrontational tone, saying that a lot of people that were defending Vinny were grasping at straws and that she believes the victims. I think some part of this is that she was one of the only retweeters to actually further elaborate on what her involvement was in the document, and that she felt a little bit personally attacked in the situation. I think because of this increased involvement, she experienced an increased amount of backlash from the entire situation, and that she was not taking it very well. While I disagree with Redbard's usage of the word victim for the accusers, I want to remind Vinny's viewers that he explicitly asked for people to not harass people over this manner. Former Vinesauce member GeePM was clearly the biggest loser of this entire cycle. After retweeting the document, people began to go into the replies of GeePM's other tweets and drag him over his removal from Vinesauce, as well as a scandal involving one of his former mods on his Twitch channel. When it came to him addressing his retweeting of the document, about 1/3 of it was actually mentioning the retweet itself, with 2/3 being him addressing his other previous controversies, including him dragging his feet when removing a mod that had been accused of sexual improprieties with a 16-year-old 4 years before he actually removed the mod in question. The backlash got so bad that GeePM decided to use the block list to deal with all the negative attention. However, what he did not account for is that due to the fact that he used to be in Vinesauce, putting a block list on anyone who also follows Vinny is going to lead to a lot of collateral damage of people who just followed you because you were associated with that group. Because of this, GeePM went from a Twitter account of about 10k followers to a Twitter account of about 200 followers in a single move. After that, he privated his account and has not unprivated it since. In this segment of the video, we're going to look at the document through the lens of it being 100% unimpeachable fact without considering the info that hurts the document's credibility. After I condense the accusations of each person, I'll give my personal take on them. So for person 1's accusations, they allege that Vinny engaged in a sexual friends with benefits with a 20-year-old viewer. Vinny wanted to keep his relationship secret, worrying public embarrassment such as that experience with Pro Jared. Vinny engaged in sexual intercourse with her twice, first with protection and the second without protection at his suggestion and with her consent. This, she believes, resulted in her being infected with the STI HPV. Vinny was emotionally distant, even after being confronted with his infecting her with HPV. She felt isolated and unable to speak out, citing that he knows her full name and address, which she says made her feel intimidated. Recently, a lot of fuss has been made about e-celebs using their position to gain sex and sexual favors, citing a power imbalance between a celebrity and a fan. However, I believe that the only thing that matters is that person 1 is an adult female who fully consented to the relationship and that Vinny was open and honest with what he was looking for in this relationship. I think Vinny's desire to maintain privacy is an understandable sentiment. Him wanting to keep things on the down low in these documents were 100% upfront and honest the entire time. This part might be the most damning thing in the document. However, for it to be damning, we would need to know two things. From my research, it seems that HPV comes in many strains and that most are benign. Person 1 needs to come up with what the strain of HPV that she has been infected with is, and if it's one of the ones that can lead to serious health complications down the road. Second would be if Vinny himself knew that he was infected with HPV. If he knew that he had an STI and still suggested to have unprotected sex, that would be a massive breach in trust and would be an incredibly shitty thing to do. However, if he did not know that he was infected, then person 1 is equally culpable in her infection with an STI as she consented to having unprotected sex with Vinny. This part might also be bad, but due to the nature of the audio that is uploaded as proof of this is very heavily edited, we have no full idea of whether or not this is true. This is a common thread throughout the accusations of all 4 women. They felt intimidated by potential backlash. In one person's account, they went as far as to say that Vinny knew her personal details. In my opinion, this is worded incredibly dishonestly. At no point at all throughout all the evidence provided in this document does Vinny even vaguely allude to there being repercussions for them exposing their relationship with him. Likewise, unless Vinny privately or publicly directs people to harass people that cause problems for his reputation, then any fear of reprisal from the community at large is not Vinny's responsibility and is purely based on their own personal feelings. At no point in any of these documents does Vinny ever threaten to expose people's personal information as retribution for slighting him. Person 2 lays out pretty much nothing new in accusations except for claiming that Vinny would go on rants about other crazy women to her. Person 2 claims that she wanted to keep him amicable to her to avoid getting called crazy in what I can only describe as reverse gaslighting. She also claims that he was considering releasing revenge porn over a person that he had a dispute with. However, due to the fact that this was in the heat of the moment, and that this was only mentioned once, I do not view that this was a very credible threat of releasing revenge porn on another person. Person 3 really doesn't add any new allegations to the table. The only exception is that apparently Person 3 was the only person that wasn't a direct fan of Vinny's before interacting with him. Person 4 lays out the most interactions with Vinny in her accusations, with several large email correspondences with him. She claims that she felt isolated by Vinny, that he ghosted her at various times, seemed only interested in the sexual aspects of their friends with benefits arrangement, and blew up with her when she had relayed the gossip that he had told her about a friend of his that had problems with alcohol and had been inappropriate with women while under the influence. She relayed this to a woman that was about to meet up with Vinny and his friend. Person 4 is very deliberate in the way that they lay their accusations out on the table. This is only further called into question, though, when the recent claims are brought up about the account's veracity. The woman that she had relayed Vinny's gossip about his friend to, a person who goes by the online Twitter handle of Lichpit, has called into question the veracity of her claims. Lichpit says that Person 4 is dishonest in her retelling of their correspondence together. Person 4 claims that Lichpit had blocked her after interacting with her. Lichpit has also provided screenshots of what she claims to be the actual correspondence between her and Person 4. Lichpit has also publicly called for any interactions between her and Person 4 to be removed from the document, as she does not consent to her correspondence being used in this document. As of the time of recording this video, these requests have still gone unfulfilled. From the lens of reading the document as 100% fact, I've come to these conclusions. Every relationship that Vinny engaged with these women was very open from the start. He laid his cards on the table and said that he was not looking for an emotional connection, but merely a sexual one. In Person 1's account, he repeatedly asks her if she consents to any sexual activity that they engage in, which she does. The women in question are allowed to be dissatisfied with how the relationship played out. However, at no point in the document is there anything other than purely consensual interaction with two people. The relationship of an e-celeb and a fan can only be described as a power imbalance if said e-celeb is an employer of that person, is offering the person a better position within the community, or leading the person on into thinking that the relationship will evolve into something more than just a friends with benefits arrangement. Regret after the fact does not lessen the consent that was given at the moment. If the document is 100% correct, then the only two things that I have an issue with in Vinny's behavior is if he knowingly infected somebody with HPV, or if he is openly and adamantly bad-mouthing his friends behind their back. However, due to the nature of the document and some of the discrepancies within testimony of the document, I am less than convinced. From what I can tell, Vinny seems like he's a genuinely nice person, and listening to him addressing the situation, I can tell that it really got to him. Vinny seems to have a very devoted and very supportive fan base, though. I ask that if you are a fan of Vinny, be sure to show your support for him and encourage him as he's going through a really rough time, but also to remember that he has explicitly asked that you guys do not harass anybody involved in the situation. I initially got involved in covering this drama because a YouTuber I really enjoy, Mandalore Gaming, retweeted the post. This has been something that he has done before in the past, and I've heard people complain about. But I think his new stance on the subject is an incredibly mature one, and I hope he maintains that he will only involve himself if he has first-hand experience of the situation. I think that Red Bard means well. I think she might be more accustomed to being on the receiving end of backlash, though I think that her use of the word victim is very hyperbolic and a reckless move. I hope she either reconsiders her position or just does not engage in the drama anymore. This entire drama has been kind of bleak, but watching GeePM's implosion was probably the one silver lining of the entire affair. It was pretty funny. I might do a follow-up on him because he seems like he might be a very interesting subject for a video. I've never watched any of Vinny's content, but my experience and feedback that I've gotten from his community has been really something. Covering this event has really boosted my channel, has led me to meeting some genuinely cool people. So I want to thank all of you guys for your support. I generally tend to cover things that interest me, so hit me up anytime you see something. I'll always make a point to read DMs, even if I don't respond right away. And that's about it. I might cover any legal things that happen in the very unlikely event that there actually is some sort of court case around all this. If you like this video, just let me know in the comments. This is my first time doing scripted content, so if you like this, then just let me know. Maybe like the video, subscribe, and maybe share this video as a way of kind of conveying what actually happened in this whole drama, because I'm seeing a lot of disinformation going around on this from both sides. But yeah, this is my first time doing scripted content, so if you guys like it, let me know. Might encourage me to do more of this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.